Hello, I'm Jeff Cavins. Pope Francis has invited us to experience the mercy of God. Throughout the year of mercy, you're going to have opportunities to learn about mercy, but even more importantly, to experience and to extend that mercy to the world. If we really want to understand the mercy of God, we have to understand the role of the Blessed Virgin Mary in salvation history. In order to do that, we have to go all the way back to the Old Testament. You know, as the children of Israel came out of bondage in Egypt, they went into the wilderness. And it was in the wilderness that Moses went up on the mountain and he received a pattern of worship. God gave him a tabernacle. And in that tabernacle, we have a holy place and we have a holy of holies. That holy of holies is very important to worship because it contains the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant is a wooden box made of acacia wood, and it's overlaid with gold. On top of that box is the mercy seat. It's surrounded by two cherubim and their wings. It was there on that mercy seat that God would meet his people, and the high priest would go into the Holy of Holies once a year to make atonement for the people. Inside of the Ark of the Covenant are three important things that I'd like you to remember. Number one is a bowl of manna, representing God's provision in the wilderness. Number two, a copy of the Ten Commandments representing his word to the people. And number three, the budding staff of Aaron representing the high priestly family, the high priests. Well, the Ark of the Covenant traveled with the tabernacle wherever they went, and God was with them. Later, Joshua would lead them into the promised land, and then once again the ark would travel from place to place in the land of Canaan. Eventually, in 2 Samuel chapter 6, the king, David, brings the Ark of the Covenant into Jerusalem. Now, there's three things that it says about David bringing the Ark of the Covenant into Jerusalem. Number one, he went into the hill country of Judea. Number two, he danced with all of his might before the ark. And number three, he said, "How is it that the ark of my Lord has come to me?" In the year 587, the Babylonians came down and they destroyed Jerusalem and the temple. But before they did, it's recorded in 2 Maccabees chapter 2 that Jeremiah the prophet took the Ark of the Covenant out of the Holy of Holies and hid it in a cave before the Babylonians came. That's how precious it is. They hid it in a cave, and you can read about it in 2 Maccabees chapter 2. One individual said, "Let's put a marker here by the cave so when we come back we'll know where it is." But Jeremiah said, "No, it will remain a mystery and hidden until God has gathered his people and shown his mercy." Well, from 587 BC all the way till Jesus, there is no ark in the Holy of Holies, and that's why Jesus stood on the Mount of Olives looking at the temple and said, "Behold, your house is empty and desolate." So, when do we see the Ark of the Covenant, if ever again? Well, we do. In the Gospel of Luke, when we see the visitation of the Blessed Virgin Mary to Elizabeth's house, we see that Luke is trying to show us she is the new Ark of the Covenant. He says three important things as she comes into Jerusalem. Number one, it uses the same language as 2 Samuel 6, that the Blessed Virgin Mary came into the hill country of Judea. And then when she met Elizabeth, what do we read? That when Elizabeth comes into contact with Mary, the babe inside of Elizabeth leaps for joy, similar to David dancing before the ark. And then we hear Elizabeth saying, "How is it that the mother of my Lord has come to me?" The same language that David used when he said, "How is it that the ark of my Lord has come to me?" You see, Mary is the new Ark of the Covenant. And the Ark of the Covenant in the Old Testament went before Israel. It was involved in battle. And the Blessed Virgin Mary is the new Ark of the Covenant. It's verified in Revelation chapter 12. When John sees in heaven the Ark of the Covenant, he describes a woman. And so Mary, the new Ark of the Covenant, gives birth to the Word of God, gives birth to the manna, the Eucharist, and gives birth to the great high priest, Jesus. She gives birth to him where? In a cave. Where did we last see the ark in the Old Testament? In a cave. And in a cave, she is revealed and she gives birth to the one who gives mercy to the world. Now, here's the fascinating thing. The Hebrew word for mercy is rechem, and the word for womb is rechem. And so out of the rechem, the womb of the Blessed Virgin Mary, comes rechem, mercy. Truly, God has revealed his mercy, and Jeremiah said that's when we're going to see the ark again. Now, as you go through the year of mercy, I encourage you to develop a relationship with the Blessed Virgin Mary, your mother. She's the one who gave mercy to the world. Through her womb comes Jesus. I encourage you to develop your relationship with Jesus, because this year will be a year of special mercy for you, and also an opportunity for you to extend that mercy to those around you. Enjoy this year. Enjoy the mercy of God.